This is ThriveCasters.
Thriving, not surviving.
Tackling youth issues that matter to you.
Hello, hope you're all having an amazing day or have had an amazing day. For those who have not watched a previous podcast, which I am in, my name is Hasan Yousaf, and a quick disclaimer, if there's anything that I do that looks out of place or odd or that seems dodgy in general, I have Tourette's. This isn't an official thing because I'm still pushing for an official diagnosis and I'm in the process of it, which is kind of what this episode will be about. It'll be about Tourette's, it'll be about why young people shouldn't understand it, and I'll give personal experiences because I think that if we teach young people about conditions like Tourette's, maybe then they can teach their parents about it, which could increase the representation of it so it isn't looked at in a weird way or it's not understood. And I will be asked questions by the audience. When I was about 13, so this is late year 7, year 8 time, I developed this weird movement where my neck would just go back like that, and it would be like a shrug and a neck back. And I thought, it might just be cold, because when you're cold and you feel coldness in the back of your neck, I thought it was just that. But in summertime, the same thing happened. Now, at first I thought maybe I'm just inhuman because I shouldn't be able to be feeling cold in 30-degree heat. But it was a tic. I didn't understand what tics were. I had no understanding of anything mental health based until maybe a couple of years ago. So from 13, I thought this was just a random movement. But as the years went on, I noticed it still happening, and I noticed new things happening. So I noticed where I'd wink at someone without wanting to, which has led to some funny encounters. One time I was on the bus. A lady looked at me and I winked. I obviously was antagonized by her partner, which wasn't fun. But yeah, that's not great. But it's one of those extra tics which I didn't understand, and I thought, I didn't mean to do that. Why did I do that? And then as the years kept on, it got worse. So I started having vocal tics. Vocal tics are when you uncontrollably say things. My first one was a pop, so it'd be like a like that sort of thing. That was about 2 years ago. I think it was 2019. It was when I was still 15. It was October 2019. That was a bit weird because I didn't mean to do it, but it also felt satisfying, I suppose. Again, as the years went on, got worse. I started ticking complete sentences. I would say random things, things which I can't really replay because 1, the NSFW, and 2, they could trigger more tics. And if I trigger more tics, it's like a downward spiral. It was about a year ago when I actually did some research into what's happening, and I had tics. Like there's bugs? No, it's the tics as in a neurological thing from Tourette's. And then I looked into it deeper, and when I joined the Discord, I was part of other communities who had it, and there were too many similarities from them and myself to feel as if to think, I still don't have what they have, because it was too close. So I pushed for some neurologists, I pushed for meetings, and a year later, this year, I finally got a meeting. In fact, today I had a meeting with my neurologist, and she is going to refer me to someone, and that may take about a year. But yeah, to answer the question, from about 2021, so last year is when I realized, I think I may have Tourette's, but it was like a build-up of from it since 2016. uncontrollable movements or sentences being produced, and the second sentence will be it's neurological, so it cannot be contracted and it cannot be simply taken away, like anxiety, because anxiety can be taken away, and Tourette's is neurological in the brain. You can't change that. People still don't know what Tourette's is. People think Tourette's is from the South Park episode where there'd be a lot of swearing, which is actually very rare in the circumstances of people who have Tourette's. In the 1% of the population who have Tourette's, I think it's a very low percentage, I don't know the exact figure, but a very low percentage of those people have coprolalia, which is swearing or saying obscenities. And also just a quick thing, 1% of the population have Tourette's, 1% of the population have autism. That's another thing why I want to talk more about Tourette's, because if it's the same as autism, it should have the same amount of awareness. One is, oh, okay, nothing happens, which is a brilliant way to respond to it, because you just feel like another person. You don't feel as if you're being treated like a little kid. The other reaction is, oh, that's so cool. Can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do this? So they'll kind of treat you like not an animal, like a clown, where they'll laugh at you when you do things that seem embarrassing to you. So I remember I was at a party and some person who I told I have Tourette's, they said, oh, can you do this, please? Because I did it previously as a tic. And then they would ask it as if it was a request. And I was thinking in my head, I'm sorry, that isn't how it works. To say the least, I don't want to swear. And then the third reaction is someone thinking, oh, what's that? Or it's very antagonistic, where they'll be very harsh and they'll say, oh, you're faking, oh, what's that? Oh, you kids nowadays just make all these things up. It gets silly. It's silly remarks about it. So in my opinion, the first reaction is probably the best, is definitely the best one. There was something that was very popular, where there was this lady who claimed she had Tourette's. And, you can't just say, oh, you're faking, because sometimes you have to just accept, okay, this person may not be faking. This person was, in fact, faking, but that was only when other previous videos surfaced where there was no tics at all, and she was a completely different person. And another thing about Tourette's is, when you're at a certain age, there's like a cap on how old you are before tics should show. And this person must have been in the mid-20s, and you usually see tics from your very, very much younger years. So latest is you're 17 or 18, and before that's like the gap. If you're anywhere past that and you randomly start ticking, it's not really true. People like that fake, but the reason why they faked it is because the money, the dollar bills, because people who actually had Tourette's and who were just making videos to raise awareness and to be nice and just to have fun. Now, for example, there's a YouTuber and a Twitch streamer called Sweet Anita. She makes really entertaining videos and she makes a lot of money. That's why people wanted to have some of that money as well by claiming they had Tourette's. So the reasoning wasn't bad because you want money, but everything else was definitely bad because you're faking being disabled, you're faking being part of a certain community, and you're faking to an audience who trusts you for that. It gives me a sense of imposter syndrome, especially when when after this fact, people started having a negative perception of Tourette's. So because when they see someone who is really popular, so this person had like 300,000 followers, when they see someone with that much fame being and then all of a sudden they're faking, that puts into question everyone who may actually have Tourette's, which puts us in a very negative sort of way of being represented as. So now, where before people have been more accepting, I'm always in the back of my head thinking, do they think I'm faking? Am I faking? Is this real? Am I doing this just for attention? Am I doing this for that? When I'm by myself, when I'm at home, when I'm sleeping, playing games, and I throw something or I hurt myself, I wouldn't think, oh yeah, I'm just doing it for attention. No, I'm just doing it because I can't help it. It's something which I can't control. It's similar to autism, really, where people are aware of it, people are okay with it, or at least for the most part. I mean, autism also has those people who think vaccinating your kids is going to give autism, but that's another thing. For Tourette's, I would like for there to be a more open perspective to it. So if someone says they have Tourette's, maybe ask them, oh, can you explain more? I don't know this fully. Because if you just go straight into, oh, you're faking, then that person who's being open about the fact that, yes, I have this, they may come to question about whether they have it, because if so many people told them that they don't have it, they may believe that they don't have it even though they have it. I've tried to raise awareness in colleges to start with. I think it was May or June. May to June, it's Tourette's Awareness Month. And in that month, I was presenting PowerPoint presentations throughout my entire college, Dudley College. I thought it was successful enough because people took something positive away from it, and I made some jokes in there. But I want to try to do something more, so maybe try and make more presentations, but on a wider scale, because I feel like as if the best people to learn Tourette's from the best people to learn about the condition from is the people who have said condition. And if schools were to ask me, hey, do you want to talk about Tourette's as part of our school thing, or hey, do you want to do this as part of raising awareness for Tourette's, I would be happy to do that, because I can only do so much with my limited powers. So if other places could be more aware of it and understand it and think, okay, let's try and raise more awareness for it, then maybe that'll help the awareness aspect of it. Not fun, to put it briefly, but to give a bit more detail. So when I mean it's not fun, when I talked about hurting myself or saying random things which get me into trouble, that's not great, because sometimes I'd feel alienated from other people. Sometimes I'd feel like as if I have to suppress everything, which is painful. When I suppress tics, it's like you're holding in a cough, but like a really nasty cough they want to get out of your throat. It's like that with a tic. At least that's how I describe it. It's means that sometimes that for me I don't get good sleep. I mean, today I got about 4 hours of sleep, which is actually pretty decent for myself. But usually I get anywhere from 1 to 5 hours in that range, which as people would know, isn't the expected amount that you'd need. And another thing about tics and Tourette's that people aren't aware of is tic attacks. That's when people just have a burst, or less of a burst, more just continuous tics over a period of time. And the longest tic attack I've had has been 6 to 7 hours. And if tics are very physical, it's you burn lots of calories. So imagine doing a consistent amount of tics for 6 hours straight, and there's few gaps in it. I felt physically exhausted, drained, and honestly I couldn't go to work on that day because my body was just too sore to do anything. That's the sort of thing which I'd want younger people to understand, because when people fake Tourette's, when people think, oh, what is Tourette's? It doesn't seem that bad. You're just swearing and having fun. It's much more than that. You have a lot of you have a lot of imposter syndrome because of it, because you feel like you're faking. You have other symptoms showing as well. So you may have autistic tendencies, you may have ADHD symptoms, you may have OCD symptoms, you may have a mixture, because Tourette's is like it's like a package deal, and Tourette's also comes with with sort of some people ghosting you, so you may lose friends as a result of developing worse tics. You may gain friends, or you may have people use you for your tics because attention, that's what it is. And if people can get over the fact that, yes, I am doing this without wanting to, and just treat me as another person, that's fine. Some of my best friends and all my other friends, they are all very accepting of the fact that I have Tourette's, and I respect them very highly for that, because not everyone does that, which is why I think if they can do what my friends do, then I think people like us will have a better chance of not wanting to suppress tics to be normal, or wanting to be more antisocial, or use more drugs. Because using weed, for example, it's been shown to reduce the amount of tics you have, because it's like a depressant, and some people overdose on it because they want more. They want to not have any tics. If anyone is having any struggles with any conditions like this, or just you're not feeling the happiest person in the world right now, speak to someone. You do have people out there who will support you, and if you ever feel bad, just know you are worth it. So have fun in life, and it can always get worse, but it can always get better. So yeah, I hope you all have a great day, and goodbye.
Don't forget to follow us on social media at OnPointWM and #ThriveCasters. Join us next time for more conversations that matter to you.